Hi, this is Rob Beardsley with Lone Star Capital. Today I want to talk about the upcoming end of Q1 2020 and whether or not it makes sense to make a distribution if you're a sponsor of a real estate investment. I've spoken to a couple sponsors and investors, and it sounds like most people are still planning on making Q1 distributions, or if they're making monthly distributions, continuing to make their monthly distributions. We, however, feel that the risks outweigh the rewards in doing so and are suspending our Q1 distributions due to the market turmoil caused by coronavirus. So we're basically playing the wait and see. I mean, we're going to see how April collections look, and obviously there's a lot of uncertainty with that, so we're taking proactive measures to try to encourage residents to pay early, pay on time. If their lease is expiring, allow them to continue month to month for no additional fee, or incentivize them to lock in a new lease with some substantial incentives. So just a lot of ways that we're working towards trying to prepare for any financial difficulties that our properties may endure as job losses are likely to spike. But going back to the distributions, I mean, on the one hand, if you do make a distribution right now to your investors, they might look at you as amazing in light of the public markets, and they might look at their retirement portfolio, their stock portfolio, and say, "Wow, I'm getting killed," but my real estate sponsor is still giving me my distributions, and my real estate assets are still performing. But the downside of that is if you make your distribution, that's cash flow that you may wish you had for the next few months if times get tough and making mortgage payments becomes more difficult. So we think the downside, if there were ever a time to explain to your investors that a distribution is going to be postponed, I mean, now would certainly be the most appropriate time. I think investors will definitely understand and may even look at it positively rather than negatively. So those are just my thoughts. I also, funny enough, recently wrote an article called Multifamily War Chest, where I was talking about this very idea of, not necessarily about coronavirus, because nobody could predict that as a cause for a potential recession, but I was referring to if we did experience flat or negative GDP growth. It takes 2 consecutive quarters for a flat negative GDP growth for an official recession, but we were planning to and are monitoring that closely, and would suspend distributions just at any sign of potential recession, before we're even in one, because if by the time we're in one, it's too late. So it's interesting. I recently wrote an article about this strategy of trying to hoard cash and reduce your CapEx spend, and really try to maximize collections, renewals, minimize delinquency, turnover, and things like that. So those are my thoughts for the upcoming Q1 distributions amidst the coronavirus market issues.